Hello and welcome back to the Making It podcast. We are here for episode 53, the first one of the new year. Dan, it is good to be back, and we're here in 2026, a year since we started this podcast, over a year since that little chat in Greenhood Cafe. Shout out to all the people there. Wow, 2026 is finally here. How's your first week been of the year, Dan?
It's been really good. A lot of New Year motivation kind of within me. I know today we're going to talk about sort of like taking action and conviction and how things can hold us back, such as like procrastination. But no, it's been good. It's been a good start to the year, and I'm feeling motivated. To be fair, apologies that I look a bit white as a ghost. It's because the sun's coming through my curtains right now, but we'll be okay. But how's the first week treated you so far, Jamie? And I'm looking forward to getting into those topics today.
It's good. It's good. New Year's, I got locked out of my house. Went to go and say hello to someone and forgot my shoes, keys, and phone. So I had to sleep on the streets for a few hours, and then eventually got back into my house at about 8:30 in the morning. So that was a good start to the new year. Back at work yesterday. I had a day off again today. So day off again. I was just like so done with it. But no, good to be back. Good to be into my normal routine again. Just trying to get back into a normal sleeping pattern, trying to get back to the gym, trying to do a few things now. And I think one thing about the new year, Dan, is that I'm not going to beat myself up so much if I say I'm going to go to the gym today and I don't go to the gym today, as long as there is a legitimate reason. I'm going to be a little bit more flexible about how I approach my goals, not because I'm going to reduce the standard of which I expect from myself, but actually the fact that I am just going to be a bit more kind to myself and remember that things pop up, things happen, and it's all right if you don't go at this time or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of first week, feeling good, dealing with things well. And yeah, it just feels exciting, doesn't it? A brand new year where you don't have any clue what's going to happen, Dan.
Yeah, I do like it, and I think like we spoke about last episode, the New Year, New Me thing is a dangerous game, but I do think it's a nice time to reflect and also open a new door, taking the things like you said with the box of things from 2025, taking it with you through the door into 2026. But I had a good New Year's in Dublin. That was really nice. Got to know Scarlett's dad's side a bit more, and it was lovely. It was a really good time. Good fun. Great, quite a nice way to start the new year. Just like enjoying drinks, enjoying food, and then yeah, worked over the weekend. Caught up with a good friend Ollie, who I know listens to the podcast, and that was really nice. We always have good chats that tend to involve deep stuff, finances, football, random catch up. It was really good. Went for some food with a few of the boys as well on Sunday night. Logan, Salvi, Aaron, and Josh. Shout out them boys. I went for a coffee with my mate Isaac Sanguinazzi yesterday and did some studying. So in Greenhood, where the Making It podcast all started, and I put a few stickers in there. So if you ever go to Greenhood, see if you can find those stickers. But no, it's been nice. But in terms of taking action and having conviction this year, funny enough, conviction is quite an interesting word for me because that's one of the things which I'm building on. I want to, like I said on the last episode, I want to take in the same things I'm already doing into 2026, but I want to build on those things. And for me, having conviction is a big one. Having those thoughts of doing something and actually doing it, I think is that sort of bridge between the thought and doing it is a very interesting concept. And I know you struggle with anxiety around doing things and procrastination, so we'll dive into that. But small things like yesterday, I'm on the back of the bus and there's a few young lads in front of me, and I had one of the Making It stickers on me, and I had a thought to just go as I leave the bus, just say, lads, look, take this, scan the QR code. Sometimes when I have that thought, I don't do it. I guess you could label it as bottling it. But I'm in this sort of this new motivation right now, which I know won't last forever, but I thought I'd make the most of it while it's here. And I gave it to them, walked off the bus. But small things like that, small things like when I'm making my videos and trying to find people in public, actually going and asking people rather than, oh, I'll ask the next person. Just taking a bit more conviction with coaching when I'm making a decision on a sub, just doing it rather than thinking, oh, I could do this, I could do that. You know, you're not going to know unless you find out. And something which I heard on a Chris Williamson podcast, I've been listening to Modern Wisdom a bit more lately. It's almost that idea of just like, we love to wait for life to begin, and we kind of forget sometimes that we're living it. I know I've kind of touched on that briefly before, but I never really, looking back on it, put it into the right sentence. I was on previous episodes, I've been like, I feel like I'm always anticipating something to happen. And that is that feeling of waiting for something to begin, waiting for life, rather than forgetting that right now we are living it. Like these things are the life, if you get where I'm coming from. So, Jamie, procrastination, what sort of effect does that have in your life? And what's your relationship with procrastination?
Well, I've got a relationship with it. It's a bit of a toxic relationship, bit of an affair. Sometimes we meet up, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's late at night, sometimes it's first thing in the morning. And sometimes we're cheeky and it's a lunchtime. Put it this way, I've had a lot of time free lately. If I'm coming up with analogies like that. I've had a lot of time free lately, and the more time I have to think about making a decision, the more nervous I get. Now, in my brain, that sounds like a unique thing to me, when in reality, that's just the opposite. Everyone thinks this. If you've got more time to think about a sub, Dan, you're gonna be more nervous because the game's gonna go on, your team's gonna get on the back foot, and you're gonna think, I don't need a striker, I need a defender. And you're gonna go higher up the pitch, and all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I'm making the right call. Whereas in the split second you made that decision, it was the final decision. So it's learning to trust your instinct more. This is another thing I've seen so much about at the start of the year, weirdly, on my Instagram, is trusting your instinct. From a football perspective, a business perspective, everyone's talking about instinct and intuition. And the thing is about procrastination is that the more time I have to think about what I'm doing and worry, the less I get done. And it sounds like such an obvious thing to just realize, but it's taken me a while to actually sit back and go, do you know what? The less I give to this idea of how do I do this, and just go to the idea of let's just give it a try, the better my week's been. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I didn't procrastinate. I did. I probably had an hour where I just sat there worrying, how do I do this? What do I do? God, I've got so much to do today. Seriously, just don't worry about all that. Don't look at how much you've got to do. You know, I've got a very large to-do list of stuff to do this week because I expect things from myself and I want to get stuff done. It's a lot of stuff, but I know I can do it. And it's just that moment where I go, all right, lock in, put the phone down. Biggest thing you can do, put the phone down. I'm trying to use my phone less. I'm struggling. It's an addiction for sure. Trying to get off Instagram Reels. You know, I found myself doom scrolling because I'm up later at night. And it was Chris Williamson that actually said it. And he said, imagine, and he said, I think he said it on the Diary of a CEO podcast. And he said, this guy's getting so much free promotion, by the way. Right? He should be paying this. This is not an ad. But he said, imagine that your life is being played out in a theatre and the people in the crowd are shouting things at you that are so obvious. Try and imagine your life like that. And you know, it's really, really stuck with me in the last week or so. And I've been thinking, what would it be telling me to do? Gets to 1:30 in the morning, I'm on Instagram and I'm like, turn your fucking phone off. All right, okay, put the phone down. Okay. Earlier today, I'm like, you're sitting there, it's a hot day, you're doing nothing. Do some stuff and then go out the house. All right, okay, I did that. You know, I was out from like 4:30 till 9, you know, late for the podcast, I'm sorry. But it's like, as time goes on, I'm starting to think less about the audience, more about the film. I'm starting to not need that prompt, and I'm starting to just do things a bit more. So I think we all have a relationship with procrastination, Dan. And I think that in 2026, I'll be approaching it a lot more vigorously, a lot more offensively. I don't want to be the victim of procrastination anymore. You know, I want to just get stuff done and realize that even though I have more time to think about doing it and worrying about it going wrong, I also have more time to execute it and other things. What about you, Dan? What's your sort of relationship with it?
Like we promote a lot on this podcast, we can't necessarily remove these things from our lives, but we can work our way around them and understand our own personal relationship with them, just as we're speaking about. And procrastination often is, or can be, what happens when we don't want to do a certain thing. I don't know, let's say I've got some uni work I don't want to do. I may not sit there and be thinking about it, but I might clean some pots instead. I might do a video for my Instagram instead. I might message a couple of friends instead. That's still a form of procrastination. I'm not doing the thing I want to do, or I need to do, sorry. And that's where Naval, who has also been on Chris Williamson's podcast that I'm listening to right now.
3 times. 3 times.
And that's where he mentions doing things when you feel inspired. And we've all had times where we haven't done something when we have felt inspired, and we've never ever got around to doing it until a lot later on when we don't feel inspired. So I'm taking that into my life a lot. When I feel inspired to do something, I do it in that moment when I've got the love for it. Because just like anything, when you want to do it, when you love it, it doesn't feel like you're working. And that's a life I would love to lead. And there are going to be times when we do have to do the tasks which we don't want to necessarily do, and that's where we find a certain way to help us do those things. Maybe set a period of time, and then we could have a little break, and we're kind of like what you said to me this week. Before you do something before you do something you want to do, like, I don't know, maybe it was like go for a coffee, wasn't it? You wanted to get a certain thing done before you did that, almost rewarding yourself after doing the thing you didn't want to do and getting that done. So I think it is just finding certain things which help you do it. But I think I don't procrastinate too much in my life, because I am trying to build those building blocks of making sure those bricks and the things I'm doing in my life and those things I am building are the things I want to be doing anyway. So often I don't procrastinate too much, because I know I want to do it, and that's an easier fuel. I think just the times when I kind of put things off, it is the things that I don't want to do. And that is when the procrastination comes in. And that tends to be uni work. And that's where I just have to sit myself down and go, okay, today I'm just dedicating my time to this. And then I do that. So I think that's where priorities come in. And it's like, what are you prioritizing and when are you going to do things? And yeah, it's an interesting thing, because I think we all struggle with it. And it'll be interesting for the listener to comment down below their relationship with it and what kind of gets in the way of them having action. But so what are things you are going to do which are going to help you not procrastinate as much and take more conviction in 2026?
Well, I think that the checkpoints, like you mentioned a minute ago, really important to me, because I said to myself yesterday, I said, okay, I really want a coffee. Not because I don't need the energy spike. I think coffee symbolizes something for me, Dan. Like, it's an event, it's a moment, it's a time when you can just think, right? I've probably some of the best things I've done in my life have been having a coffee, and it's not because of the energy. You know me, Dan. I don't need extra fucking energy. Like I'm insane, but like it's the moment. It does something to your brain. It triggers me, and it's like tapping into that coffee mentality when you're not having a coffee. But I said to myself, okay, I need to write my blog, and I also said to myself, I'm not writing my blog if I feel like it's a burden. I don't do things in my life in passion projects if they become a burden. As soon as my blog becomes a burden, I'll stop. As soon as the Making It podcast becomes a burden on my life, I stop. Because the point of having a project and something you love is that you do it while you're passionate about it. And if I'm not passionate about it, and my whole thing is about passion in it, that transcending, you're not going to feel what I feel through my writing. You're not going to feel that. So I said to myself, are you inspired? Yes. Have you got energy? You have. Are you procrastinating? Yes. Okay, cool. Right. So you've got one problem. You need to quit that. It's not as easy as just going, oh, I'm procrastinating. Fuck, idiot. Let's start. It's more of a case of, what do you want from today? Well, firstly, I want to go for a coffee and chill out. Great. Okay, let's earn it. You've already earned it. You've gone to the job, done your thing, earned your money. But what have you done today? What's your intention? What do you want out of it? I want to get my blog done. And I've got my whole list of stuff I had to get done. It's other than one thing, it's all done. And I'm proud of that, because I said to myself, blog, good. Then coffee, good. Okay, do this. Okay, and then you cook dinner. Great. And then you can do this. And before you know it, everything's done. By just setting yourself little checkpoints during the day and making sure that you rest and enjoy yourself, because that's what it's all about. And another thing as well is, Dan, with the procrastination and however I've been feeling recently, it's like worrying so much about how much time I've got here. And I'm just in that mindset of like, I'm just going to enjoy this last bit. I'm just going to enjoy this last bit. I am going to be sensible. I've booked tickets to go to Melbourne, in late February. It's a new place to go and explore for a couple of days. I'm going to go and watch Window Kid, going to have a load of fun. Like, you just got to enjoy it. And I think that for me, at least, Dan, setting the checkpoints is a good way of dealing with the procrastination. And another thing as well, and the last one, because I'm trying to work on strategies for dealing with challenges I faced last year so that I'm ready to face it. Like a football match, treat it like that. It's the me v me mentality. If I don't do this now, no one's going to do it. I'm still going to have to do it at some point. And you can see that as, okay, I'll just do it tomorrow. Or you can see it as, I need to do it now. It's me v me all the time. And that's how I'm attacking it. So that's two ways that I would look at that.
The coffee thing's funny because when I remember I was with my grandma and brother once, and I said how we joke. Well, they laugh at me because I say it's when I go for a coffee or I say I've enjoyed a coffee. It's not actually because of the coffee; it's because of what came from it or what came around that and the meaning behind that. A massive example being our coffee to think about and talk about this podcast. Like I love going for a coffee with someone, to have that deep connection with someone, to have that conversation, to think about that productive thing, to do that productive thing. It's that I know exactly what you mean about that feeling behind a coffee. There's something powerful behind that. And you sent me a video this week, and it was, I believe it was Steve Jobs, right?
Steve Jobs, yeah.
Yeah, Steve Jobs talking at a graduation, and he was talking about his journey, and the final thing in his story was he spoke about death and how he came very close to it, but also how he looked himself in the mirror and used to ask himself, if this was my last day alive, how would I approach it? And I think that is an extreme way of going about things, because often this isn't our last day alive, but it's asking yourself, what am I going to do today, which aligns with what I want to be and the things I want to do, and maybe what am I going to do today, or maybe what am I not going to do today, which goes against the things which I feel aren't right for me. And time is a precious thing, and I know we do have a lot more of it than we think, and we can get quite anxious about running out of time and time's going so quick. But we also do need to be very reflective of how we use that time. And death for me is something I haven't spoke about too much on the podcast because you don't want to be too morbid about it. But I think the reality is that we all do die one day. That's the truth. You can't. That's one of the truths in life which no one can escape. And I think for me that can be a very powerful tool to almost battle procrastination, battle the things around not doing something. Because one day, I don't like to think one day it's all meaningless because one day we're not here anymore. But one day you don't get the chance to take conviction on this thing. So why not do it? And it's not an easy task, but it is a powerful tool, I feel, in my life, which I like to use in the sense of, I'm not going to get this chance again. And it gives me this sort of burning fuel feeling where it's like, it fires me up and it goes, right, we're doing it then. We're jumping because one day I'm not going to get this chance. And it's not an easy thing to do, but it's something we can use. Now, when it comes to enjoying the last few bits of Australia for you, and I know you're not quite into it yet, but before you know it, you are already into your last few months of Australia, and before you know it, you'll be back in the UK thinking, what am I doing with my life? But how are you going to approach enjoying these last few months in Australia? Paint that picture for us. What does that entail?
It entails working quite hard. I intend to finish my time here working hard. I've got a few ideas for how I'm going to get home. The most important part is I get home. So my mum tells me, reiterates a lot. So nothing too crazy, but we'll see what surprises I've got. But I'm in the last 5 months now. Crazy how quick time goes. It is so. This is the fastest year, and the reason it's the fastest is because it's probably been the most fun. So I know that this was a good thing to do just based on that. But I try not to think of it like the last 5 months. I just think of it like the next 5 months and narrow it down even more. The next month, the next week, the next day, the next couple of hours. You've just got to minimize it to that and try not to think about time, because if you think about time, you can go absolutely insane. You can send yourself time creates probably the most mental health problems. It sends the most people crazy because it's such a mad thing. All of a sudden, your life just goes from living like the cavemen used to, sun comes up, sun goes down, sleep, whatever, to holy shit, you've got finite time. Like as soon as you know that there's an end and the clock's ticking, people panic. And it's like with this trip, I just know I've got to go and see those beaches. I was talking to a manager at work, shout out Stu, and we were saying, let's go and do some hikes. There's a couple of hikes I've always, wanted to do since getting here. Let's go and do some hikes. Let's go to the beach. Let's go and learn to surf. I was going to do it this morning, but I got busy. Let's go learn to surf. Let's, go and do all these things. I'm not the most beachy person, I'll be honest. I never really have been. I like the city, but I want to go and do the beach more. I want to go and do the walks. I want to go see Melbourne. I want to go back up to Gold Coast and see the people that I've not seen for a while, and say goodbye to them properly. I want to go and do all these things. So the next 5 months for me looks a lot like enjoying every moment I've got here before I head back home and enjoy every moment that I've missed with my family, because that's what I will do. And then obviously then comes the big question of if I come back. And I'm going to be honest, Dan, I think this week I've made a preliminary decision that I would like to come and do another year. I think that's, for me, going to happen. Will it be immediately? Probably not. Probably a year after, I would think. But I would like to come back. I think that Sydney, especially, not just Australia, but Sydney, really resonates with me. And there's something special about it because it's a place where I've felt a lot of dark times, a lot of really good times. I've spent time with Deck. I've made loads of new mates, made mistakes, made good opportunities. So I'm going to come back. I don't know when, but I was thinking earlier about what I'm going to do when I get home. I'm going to make a plan. And I'm thinking, God, I can't wait to coach football. God, I can't wait to share a beer with everyone. And it's like, I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to go home. What a great privilege that is that I'm feeling right now, that I can feel comfortable and happy where I am. And when I leave this space, feel comfortable and happy there and come back and feel comfortable and happy. I'm so lucky. So lucky, so grateful. I can't wait to learn more lessons, Dan. I can't wait to make more mistakes. I can't wait to run out of money on a night out and be an absolute idiot a couple more times. And I can't wait to save a bit of money and be smart. I love the opposites and all the random stuff going on, man. I love it. And I can't wait for that first coffee with you, bro. It's going to be, we keep talking about it, bro, but it is going to be special. And I know that you're going to be just stimming out, not being able to talk like you did at that time in Newcastle.
Nah, it's going to be good, bro. And I look forward to doing a real life podcast with you again as well. That's going to be special. And it's just an exciting journey. And I think I felt a lot of excitement coming into the new year. I'm excited for what's ahead. And for some reason, so Lita at work, shout out Lita. Her son is a performance analyst at Nashville, as you know. And he came over with a few football tops, and Lita kindly gifted one to me. And I was wearing it yesterday, and there was something about that top, and it symboled opportunity for me. I can't really explain why, but it just did. And I was wearing it yesterday, and I just felt good wearing it. And I just feel like this year is symboling opportunity, just the opportunities that lie ahead, the memories I know are ahead. I'm excited for it. And I think a lot of people, I think when it comes to taking yourself seriously and taking yourself not so seriously, it's a very interesting dynamic, because I think at large we shouldn't take ourselves so seriously, and that's what helps kind of take conviction, because it's like, just do it anyway. Why are you being so serious about it? Why are you thinking so much about it? Let's just do it. Let's not take it so seriously. But I also think there's some people who do need to take themselves a bit more seriously and actually think to themselves, why am I living this passive life? Why am I letting myself neglect these things I know I shouldn't be neglecting? Why am I letting myself not live the life I know I want to live? What's holding me back? And I think talking about procrastination today, I think for someone who's listening right now, I think ask yourself those questions. What am I neglecting in my life, which I know I truly want to do? What are those things which I'm just letting pass by, which I know I'm going to regret when I'm older? You've only got one chance. Do those things. Give those things a go. Otherwise, you will regret it. I know people speak about when you're on that retirement chair and you're looking back. And a good question is if you were sat in that chair right now, what would be something that would make you feel sad or upset or disappointed that you didn't take conviction on it? And I think a lot of us do just kind of think to ourselves, we have that time later, or we could do it a little bit later on, or at some point it's going to happen anyway. But I think before you know it, you realize these are the moments to take action on those things and be around the people you love. And, if Ollie's listening right now, I was thinking, when we said bye to each other the other day, I should have said, I love you, man. I should have said it. And I was driving back thinking, why didn't I say that? And it's things like that. Like say you love that person. Say you just be around that person you want to be more around. What are conversations you want to have this year? What are people who have made a big impact on your life? Make more time for those people. I just think it's exciting. And I know for some people, life may not be exciting right now, and you may be going through a tough time, but I hope this podcast helps. And I just think there's cool things ahead, brother. I'm excited for what this podcast can entail this year. I'm excited for what your life entails this year. I'm excited for what my life entails this year, and I'm looking forward to being in this place next year and seeing what happens. But I just want to look. I want to say to myself right now, I want to take conviction on those things that I truly want to do, and I want to be able to reflect on that next year and say I did that. That's probably one of the biggest things for me. And also for the listener, this week there'll be a special episode on the podcast because our most regular and committed listener, Judy, wants to interview me. So that'll be coming out towards the end of this week. But Jamie, brother, I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and I hope you share that excitement too.
Absolutely, bro. I'm proud of how yours and our 2025 went. And I think it's so exciting to think that 2026 is now upon us. And I think that I feel so excited. I feel so energetic. I feel so ready for what this year is going to throw at us. And we're going to get beaten up a little bit, bro. Our ship's going to get knocked about a little bit, but we're going to keep sailing through that storm, bro, because we're going to go and discover some mint little islands. And we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. It's going to be sick. Listen, if you enjoyed this podcast, click follow on all your platforms. We are also going to be moving the podcast to other platforms this week. I've got the RSS feed, so I'm going to try and get round to that. So hopefully Amazon, Google, all these different places will have us on there as well. So we should have some good news regarding that next week, if not the week after. Have a great new year. Enjoy it. It is still the new year. Have a great first week, second week, whatever it is. Just make sure you have a bit of fun and keep setting goals for yourself. And if you can as well, get in contact with the podcast, makingitpoddy@gmail.com or makingitpoddy wherever you get your social media. We're there. Question is, where are you? Drop us a text, drop us an email. We appreciate it. But Dan, great speaking to you for another week, my friend. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Take care, everyone.
See you later.